Ow. You see that? I just hit myself in the jaw with the headphones. That's crazy. All right. Fidget toy? Do you need a fidget toy? All right. Hey there, Ottawa County. Thank you so much for tuning into the very first episode of Ottawa Out Loud, the official podcast of Ottawa County. I'm so excited that you're here, that you're tuning in to the very first episode. How cool is that we're finally doing this? I've been working for quite a few months to try and get this off the ground, pitching it to the right people, planning to make sure it isn't a complete waste of time. So thank you for watching this very first episode here. My name is Scott. I am the digital communications specialist here at Ottawa County. My job is to make video and photo content to show you guys what's going on with the county, and this is really the evolution of that so far. I've been here since about June, and I've learned a lot about the county and how it works, and I wanted to not only pass on some of the knowledge that I have, which is honestly in the grand scope of things very little, but I also wanted to take you guys along with my journey as I learn how stuff works, because at this point I don't know everything about local government. Surprise, surprise. I'm guessing neither do you, and that's totally fine. And I'm here to learn alongside you, and as you can see, there's an empty seat right next to me here. That means that we're going to be having guests on this podcast who are here to teach us how things work. And I'm really excited for today's guest. We're going to get into that in just a moment. But before that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about what you can expect moving forward with this podcast and what you shouldn't expect. So first things first, we're here to demystify the operations and functions of the government, what it does, why it does it. Also here to break down complicated concepts, things that would normally be inaccessible to normal people just because the language used. We're here to break it down into more layman's terms because I'm not a genius. I don't have a political science degree. And once again, I'm guessing you don't either. If you do, hey, good for you. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we're here to have a little bit of fun, keep it light, and be generally entertaining. I'm thinking 85% of this is going to be good educational serious content, but then 15%, we're just here to have a little bit of fun and keep things casual and lighthearted. Here's what the podcast is not going to be. Number one, it's not going to be political. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. One thing to understand, though, is everything is inherently political. What I mean by that is your viewpoint of the world, what you've been through as a human being, the decisions you make ultimately inform how you act in your personality, and that applies to me too. I'm going to do my best to not overtly share my opinions because I don't think that's what this is for. Now, if I tell you, for example, that Mr. Burger is the best restaurant in West Michigan, that's not an opinion, that's not political, that's a fact. We are not monetized. We are not making money off of this. We are not doing sponsorships or ads or anything of that sort. The county is paying actually a very small amount of money to get this off the ground here. We've been very cost effective on things. These cameras, we already own those. We're using all equipment that we own. Only thing I've bought are these little microphone holders, and the microphone inside here we already owned. It's very cost effective, so don't worry about me wasting all your money. I'm going to do my best not to do that. One extra thing that we're not here to do is make the government look perfect. I'm not the minister of propaganda here at Ottawa County. I'm probably going to joke about that because I think that's hilarious. But I'm not here to convince you that everything about our government is good. That's unrealistic. We all know that every system is in one way or another inherently a little flawed. So we're going to talk not just about the good things, but we're also going to talk about the challenges and really start a dialogue of how maybe we can improve things moving forward. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't want this to be a one-way communication stream, and we're going to talk near the end of the episode about some ways that you're going to be able to engage with the podcast here, directly with me and with my potential guests and everything. So look forward to that at the end. Format-wise, we're going to do either bi-weekly or monthly releases. I would say expect one for sure every month, but hey, if we do one every 2 weeks, great little surprise there. That is totally subject to change. This is brand new to everybody, and we're going to have to be flexible, so thanks for bearing with us in that regard. So we have a couple of announcements here. So we're moving into our next segment, which is announcements. Our next full Board of Commissioners meeting is February 25th at 9 a.m. That is here at the Fillmore Building in West Olive. That is 12220. That's right, there are 3 2s in a row. 12220 Fillmore Street. That's in West Olive, 49460, I think. I don't know. Public is absolutely welcome. There's a lot of seats there. You are very much encouraged to sit in. There's a public comment period before and after the meeting as well that you'll be able to, if you want to say something to the Board of Commissioners, you can have 3 minutes to do that. You can also watch online. We have a YouTube channel, as you may be watching this on. We also post links on Facebook and whatnot. And then after the Board of Commissioners meeting, usually the next day, I post a little 1 to 3 minute long summary of the meeting in case you didn't have time to watch it, in case it was a really long meeting or something. That's called meeting minutes. You'll see it the day after every Board of Commissioners meeting. We do have standing committee meetings on March 11th, also at 9 a.m., also here at the Fillmore Building. Our 2 standing committees currently are Planning and Policy and then Finance and Administration. Couple more announcements here. We did have a pretty substantial overhaul of the county website. So you may notice that some things are in different places. That's ultimately to be a better user experience, so it may take some additional getting used to. Ultimately, I think it's going to be better for everybody. It's been a lot of work put into that, and I think the website looks a lot better. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you're a staff member of the county listening to this right now, and your department has events that you want to get out to the public, email me. Send me an event. Let me get it out to the people. Thank you. I have one more. It's called Walk for Warmth. I wonder what that is. Everybody, please welcome Jennifer Brozowski. Ah! Hey, you're not clapping. Clap. Come on. All right. Hey, Jennifer, do you prefer Jen?
Jen is great. Yes.
Okay, Jen
Thank
is
you.
great. Great. First of all, I'm sorry I don't have headphones for you.
It's all right. I'll let it slide.
I did some research, and it would have been a good $500 to set up a system where you could have headphones, and then the headphones themselves a cost on top of that.
Okay. Cost
Also,
effective. I like it.
I can hear my own voice, so I'm not even going to use them. Much better. Much better. I can hear myself think. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on, for taking a risk and being the very first guest on the Ottawa Out Loud podcast. Jen is the program director of our wonderful community action agency here in Ottawa County. For how long?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. That's almost 5 years. That is great. That would be since
June of 2020.
Yeah, what a
Yep,
time
it
to
was
start a new job.
Very interesting time to start a new job.
Geez, needs and everything were very different from what they are now, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So, wow. One thing about Jen so far, we've worked together on, 3 or 4 projects?
Yeah.
Different video things?
Yep.
Jen was the first director that I met with when I was starting my job. I was not prepared for that meeting in the slightest. I was like, they're going to tell me their ideas. And then you were like, okay, what ideas do you have? And I'm like, I don't know anything. Because I knew nothing. I didn't have my cameras or anything. I was just like, well, this is great. We can just talk about really vague stuff, and then I'll figure it out later.
You did great.
And we did. We figured it out
great.
later. So we're just rattle off a few quick questions.
Sure.
Here, just so the folks out there can get to know you. First things first, what's your favorite color?
Ooh, pink.
Pink. All
Anybody
right.
on my team could tell you that. Pink.
Okay, that's good that you make
Yes.
that known.
Yeah.
What was your first live music experience
Oh, boy.
of note?
My parents were really into country, so it was probably like an Alabama concert at the state fair. That was
Great.
probably,
First one that you remember, like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one.
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Probably Zach from Saved by the Bell. You might be too young to know who that is.
Yeah, I totally pretended. And I was like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Zach from, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure plenty of people out there will know here. Who's your current celebrity crush?
Probably Bradley Cooper.
Okay, that's a classic one. I
Yeah.
think everybody can agree
Yeah.
with that one. He's just a charismatic, multi-talented. He's kind of got everything.
Yes.
Favorite restaurant in West Michigan?
I don't know. We go to Dorado's a lot in Hudsonville. We kind of stay around that area sometimes. With a younger kid, you don't venture too far, but Dorado's is delicious Mexican food.
Interesting that you said that, knowing you were in the room when I was talking about how Mr. Burger was the only correct answer. So
sorry
that's
about that.
that's just an odd choice to make, but I guess. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're good. Finally, Favorite movie or TV show you've seen recently?
I honestly rewatch a lot of stuff that I've already seen before. So I love
Nostalgia Train.
and just like those classic goofy comedies like The Office, Parks and Rec. I feel like
We're
they're
gearing up for a Parks and Rec rewatch in the Vandenberg household.
yes,
Yeah.
It's a classic.
It really is.
It's a classic.
And having 9 months of local government experience under my belt, I think I'm going to see it in a much different light.
Yes,
And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes.
I hope it doesn't ruin it for me.
I don't think it will.
Time to get into the meat of this main segment here. First things first, Ottawa County Community Action Agency.
Yes.
OCCAA,
Yes.
like mocha.
Yes, rhymes with mocha.
Rhymes with mocha.
Yep.
Don't forget it. This was not on the list of questions that I had previously informed you with. Can you explain why it's a community action agency and not the Department of Community Action?
That's a great question. So community action agencies are part of a national partnership. So to be a community action agency, you would need to receive the Community Services Block Grant, which comes with a whole laundry list of regulations that we have to follow. It's been that name as long as I've known, and we've shortened it to OCCAA because honestly, it's just a mouthful. So,
Say it 5 times fast. Go.
Yeah.
Did you say it 5 times fast? All right, that's great. Okay, so it's the name is sort of tied to where the majority of the funding comes
Yes.
from and everything. Okay,
Yep.
That's interesting. How long has Ottawa County had a community action agency?
Great question. We just looked into this actually
Nice.
with the county clerk's department, and we've been around since the early 80s.
Wow, 1980s?
Yes, the
Okay.
1980s.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, you never
Yeah.
know. So a lot of history there, a lot of lives changed and people helped, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
What does the Community Action Agency of Ottawa County do?
That's a great question.
Thank you. Thank you.
So our mission really is to move people towards self-sufficiency, to empower them, lift them up with connections of resources, connection to different financial resources as well. We have things like utility assistance, for example. And the intent is to move people to a place where hopefully they don't need public assistance anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not the type of thing where every month you get the same, 8 people that get the assistance, and then next month they're going to be back,
Right.
and so on and so forth. That is great. It's really, OCCAA itself is a resource, but then you have partnerships with other resources in the county. There are
Yep.
lots of resources. This is a very resource-rich county.
Absolutely.
And you connect people with it. That's fantastic. I
We
think
do.
that's something that everyone can get behind. That leads a little bit into sort of a programs overview. So you mentioned a couple of them. If you want to give us sort of an overview on some of the programs offered to assist residents when they need it.
So we have our utility assistance program, which I named. We also have a home rehab program, a smaller program that helps with some emergency home repairs. We have a fairly large weatherization program. A lot of people don't know what that really means. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea what that was before I started it.
Same.
Misconception, windows and doors, but really it's looking at the energy usage in the home and air getting in and out. So really to improve that, it's more like insulation and caulking around the windows and, just sealing up that air. So that's another large program. And then we also have a couple of food programs, one for the general public. If you need food, you get food at pantries. And then we also have a senior food program as well. And we do some home energy efficiency programs as well. So a lot of education, not just the contractor work and going into the home, but educating homeowners and renters about different home energy savings tips.
Very cool. I've actually had the pleasure of going along with some of these programs to document it, photo, video. One was the weatherization. I've been to the initial weatherization audit. Aaron went through and tested certain areas of the home to see if there was a draft or if there was significant heat loss in that part of the home, and wrote up this great report that when someone else went out, a contractor usually goes out to actually perform the weatherization where they'll seal things. This contractor, I forgot exactly who it was. He was hilarious.
Probably Al. He's amazing.
Al, he was hilarious. I love
he's
him.
amazing.
Actually replaced a vent fan and went up into the attic and everything. I brought my camera. It was terrifying. I never thought I'd do that.
It's impressive.
And then there's the quality assurance afterwards, right? The inspection to make sure it all goes over smoothly, which is really good. Then I was also had the pleasure to go along with them as they did one of their commodity. What's it called? CFSP?
Yes.
What does that stand for? CFSP.
The the Commodity Supplemental Food Program.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, packing up those boxes, and then either people came to pick up the food themselves, or it was delivered to them via DoorDash.
Correct.
Which is that's a great partner to have
Absolutely.
because of their wide, reach of people.
Definitely.
So, is there right now a balance or an imbalance of needs and demand versus the capacity that the department has?
I would say the need is always there. The need is always there. There are a lot of people right now that are struggling with the cost of things.
Yeah.
So people are making really difficult decisions. We've had seniors that have said to us, I am choosing between my heart medication and food.
Yeah.
And now because of your program, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I would say there's always a need.
I'm sure demand is a different story based on awareness, right?
Right. I think there are a lot of programs in Ottawa County, and sometimes it's just difficult to navigate them and know what's out there. What are you eligible for? That's a piece as well. It's, a lot of what we try to do is get the word out about who we are and what we do, because that can get a little confusing with the name and you're part of the county. What does that really mean?
Right. Like, why are you, the first question I asked, why are you not the Department of Community Action or whatever? So
Right.
I think that's great. Because one of the things we're trying to do here is just explain, these concepts that you and I, as people who work for the county, may just take for granted.
Exactly.
And make sure that everyone out there listening, we got 300,000 residents of Ottawa County. I expect you all to be watching so that you all know this, right? All right, cool. You mentioned with the name there's been some confusion.
Yes.
You guys have a name doppelganger
We
out
do.
there in the
We do.
community as well. Can you clear up some confusion
Yes,
for us?
I will do my best. A lot of layers.
Okay. Like an onion or an ogre.
Yes. So there's Community Action House as well. They have some similar programs. They have a food club. They do a lot of assistance for our lower income individuals or income qualifying individuals in the county. So Community Action House is a private nonprofit in the area. It actually started back in the 1960s. Community action is different in that we have different programs. We have programs that come from the state, a lot of state and federal grants. Community Action House, they do a lot of local fundraising and those types of things. So again, very similar names. We've always gone back and forth, who's going to change their name first, right?
Just a game of chicken with the names. That's great.
That's why we're starting to shift to OCCAA, because it's easier to say. And there's that differentiation between Community Action House, and they're amazing partners. We work with them on a number of projects, but we are two different entities. They work with they do street outreach for homeless individuals, and we focus, not that we wouldn't help those individuals, but we're really focused on that ALICE population, which is really those that have been referred to honestly as the working poor, really trying to get ahead. They're working, they have some income, they have a place to stay. They're really making those difficult life choices between medication and food.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in when you make just enough money to have a home, whether it's renting or owning. You have just enough money to afford some of life's necessities and just enough money to sort of not qualify for a lot of those additional support services that would be there if you just simply made less money.
Right.
So I think that's a really important gap in services that I think OCCA addresses
Absolutely.
really well. So Community Action House, we love you.
We do.
We love you.
We really do.
But you're not
They're
us.
wonderful.
You're not us, and that's okay because we're not you. You mentioned a tiny bit, and we just sort of talked about that eligibility.
Yes.
I understand there have been some. Sorry, I all of a sudden got really thirsty.
That happens.
Thank
We are
you.
chatting a lot.
Thank you for the reassurance. There have been some changes in the eligibility requirements for good. Yes or no?
Oh yeah, it's always great when that happens. Our senior food program went up to 180% of the federal poverty level, and people always ask, what is that? What is that number? What does that mean? And each of our programs are a little bit different with the income eligibility, and I never expect anybody to know that number off the top of their head. So really the best thing to do is reach out and see where you might fall, because if we have one program that maybe you're not eligible for, maybe there's another that you are eligible for.
Or at the very least, somewhere that you can give them
Yes.
a warm handoff to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
great.
try not to let people go empty-handed. We try to at least send them with a referral, a phone call somewhere, just to make sure they're getting help somewhere.
Yeah. Do you have any specific stories of
Yeah.
particular successes and ways that OCCA has helped somebody make big, improvements to their quality of life?
Sure. There are a lot, really. The ones that really stand out to me are the ones where it's just a basic need in everybody's life that they don't think about and they take for granted. And one that really stands out is a single mom, 2 small kiddos, and she couldn't pay her water bill. So that was devastating. And she came to our program. She worked with Carrie on our team, and Carrie was able to help her with her water bill. She was income eligible, got the water turned back on. And when she came to us, I think the part that really got me is she said, my youngest is turning 1, and I can give him a bath for his first birthday.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah,
bath.
it's those little things
bath.
that a lot of people
Yeah.
don't even think about, things that we
Yeah.
just take for granted a lot.
Yeah.
And also the humility that someone needs to have in order to make that phone call to ask for help. A lot of people, myself included, like I was bringing these chairs in here today. These are heavy chairs. I don't know if you could tell that they're heavy, at least by my standards. And people asked if I wanted help, and I said no. I could have used some help. And that's just carrying a chair. That's not something
Right.
like help with utilities.
Right.
Water is so important, Heat
Basic
this time of year, it's been cold. It's been really, really cold. I think I had to buy a pair of boots for my dog, and he's part Malamute, and he needed boots. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So making sure that people feel comfortable
Absolutely.
to call and ask. Worst case scenario, you get some other resource that is at least a good trail towards solving your problem.
Absolutely.
Speaking of warmth,
Yes.
I heard there's an event going on soon.
That's a great
little
transition.
birdie told me.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I'm a
Wonderful.
mastermind.
Yeah, we have our Walk for Warmth coming up just a couple weeks away, March 7th.
Amazing.
Friday night at 6 p.m. It's at EV Construction.
Okay. Details will be in the show notes.
Yes, absolutely. So we're right across from Window on the Waterfront. It's not a strenuous walk. It's not, a 50-mile walk. It's about
49 miles.
It's 49.9.
Yeah.
But it's about a mile. We try to keep it reasonable. The point is to really let the community know what we do. And it supports our utility assistance program.
Okay.
We were talking about income eligibility earlier. Sometimes you have somebody that falls just outside of it, $10 outside of it, and there's no wiggle room with our grants.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have a pot of money where we can help somebody with their utilities, whether it be water, electric, gas, if they're not eligible for our other programs.
Yeah, and
So
we were
it's
talking
great.
a little bit before the show in our meeting. Was that 2 days ago? I don't know. We talked about the funding sources for OCCA, and you talked a lot about grants,
Yep.
but also how we want to make sure that that's not the only
Right.
resource that OCCA has to help people. So what other ways can OCCA be helped?
Sure.
You know?
Really, we take donations year-round. We really highlight the Walk for Warmth as, to get out in the community and be visible.
That's like your big one?
That's the big one.
Okay.
That's the big one. We don't put a ton of time into fundraising because we're busy. There are only 8 of us. We serve a lot of people.
Wow.
So we take donations year-round on our website. We love volunteers. We love volunteers for our senior food program, for our Walk for Warmth event, and we have a really creative team. So if we have somebody that really wants to help out in another way, we could find another spot for them, whether it be, making phone calls or doing something like that. So we also love volunteers. So if anybody ever wants to volunteer, they can go to our website, and we definitely have plenty of opportunities for that.
Great. Yeah, I was just about to ask. I dropped my fidget toy. How people can help, because I think you said there are 8 people in the department total.
Yep.
That is not huge. There are smaller departments, but there are much bigger departments as well. And I think there are a lot of folks out there who want to help but maybe don't know how. So you said just volunteering.
Yes. Volunteering is great.
Is there a site that people can go to look at volunteer opportunities?
Absolutely.
Because if there is, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yes, it's on our website under, I believe, volunteers. I know things just kind of changed a little bit. Not difficult to find, though. It's way more easy to navigate. And then also on the Walk for Warmth page, there is a donate button. We would love to see those donations pouring in.
We love a button.
We love a button.
Yeah, turn it into a game.
We love donations.
Great. The more people press the button, the more people get to have heat in their homes. That's the game. Everybody wins.
Yes, I love that game.
Well, that's fantastic. So Walk for Warmth, March 7th at 6 p.m. at ED Construction. Am I saying that right?
EV Construction.
EV Construction.
Close, you were close.
Is that the letter E and then the letter V?
You've got it.
Construction.
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
Can you guys tell this is the first episode of this podcast? And I've never hosted a podcast before. I've dreamt about it, but that's about it. Are there any other ways besides, so there's volunteering and there's donating. How else can our generous, resourceful listeners of Ottawa Out Loud, how can they help?
I think really just getting the word out about what we do. I don't think people realize what we do. When we have a home that needs to be weatherized, we're also doing other things like, if needed, going in and fixing the roof. Or, we just had a client that came in and needed some mold remediation. So I think the best thing to do is, if you have somebody that is really struggling financially and they have a need, send them our way. Worst case, again, if we can't help, we will send them somewhere where they can be helped, or we'll try to find some kind of creative solution. Yeah. So really just spreading the word, letting people whether it be a neighbor, fellow church member, or whoever it may be, it's okay to reach out and ask for help. And we're here to take that call and make sure that they get the assistance they need.
What she said, I totally agree. That's the way to do it. Well, is there anything else that you want the people out there, again, our kind, generous, resourceful, intelligent, beautiful
Amazing.
listeners and viewers, if you're watching on YouTube, anything else you want them to know about OCCA, or even about yourself, if you want to be selfish for a second?
Another misconception about us is that we receive county funding.
This is the big one, guys.
Yeah, and it was really something that was difficult for me to explain when I first started. It took me a little bit to really grasp it, because we're a lot like a nonprofit, but we really technically are a government agency. And I know there might be some feelings around that, and rightfully so. We are majority grant funded, obviously our donations. We have some fee-for-service programs, but we don't receive county general funds. And we do pay into the county to have services like communications and IT and HR and administration and fiscal and all of those supports that we get. on our small team, which we absolutely love, that is something that we pay in from our grants.
This podcast appearance cost you $87,000. That's really good to know, because I think regardless of how you feel about the government helping people, knowing that the taxes that our listeners pay, it's typically property taxes and millages and whatnot, that money does not immediately get put into someone else's pocket. There is obviously some overhead and stuff like that, but it's really efficient from a cost standpoint for the county. And I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, if you are, maybe before we said this, of the opinion, well, my tax money is already going towards supporting the agency, why should I be donating my other hard-earned money? Your tax money isn't necessarily going towards the agency, so it'd be important to consider donating and consider volunteering. Donation of time is huge. If there's just a bunch of money sitting around and no one there to help give it to the people who need it, what's the point?
And I should also mention, Scott, that with the federal and state grants, people will say, well, I paid taxes into that too.
Good point.
So, I am already giving. What happens is if we don't use it, it just goes to another county. And I don't know about you, but I really like Ottawa County, and I love our community members, and I would love for it to stay here and make sure that our homes are getting weatherized. Really we're able to improve property values, right? Keep people in affordable homes, not moving because of a roof or, air leakage in and out of their home. We can really improve the property value. So I think that's really important for people to understand.
Making Ottawa County just a nice place for everybody who lives here. That's a really great point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's super important. Because realistically, I think that we've now convinced every subcategory of person, opinion-wise, that they should donate. Is there a fundraising goal for Walk for Warmth?
I would say we would love to surpass the $20,000 mark. Big pie in the sky, $30,000 would be amazing. We didn't quite get to that $20,000 threshold last year, so if we got there, I'd be very happy.
Great.
$30,000 would serve a lot more people, so we would love that.
So I hope everybody watching, listening, or even just having it on in the background while they're trying to sleep attends Walk for Warmth, because it does sound like a great event. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have a camera. I'm going to be recording it. So if you're seen there, it could improve your social credit score. People can see that you are being good to your community, and the benefits of that are endless.
Absolutely.
So,
it's free.
Great.
It's free to attend. We'll have face painting. We'll have cotton candy.
Oh, it's a family fun
Yes.
event? Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. I should ask about this. Tell me more.
Yes.
Why should families attend?
Well, again, there's no cost to attend.
Free?
Yep. We had terrible weather last year, torrential downpour. So we planned ahead, and we had activities for the kids. We had amazing face painting. We will have really amazing Puerto Rican food by Caribbean Sunrise there for purchase.
I don't think I've ever had Puerto Rican food.
Oh, it's delicious. You should try it. It's amazing.
Okay, I will.
Please do. I said cotton candy, snow cones. It'll be a little cold, but who doesn't love a snow cone?
Hey.
Silent auction items. So even if people don't donate before they show up, we'll have some really amazing silent auction items.
Great.
Yeah. So it's fun for the whole family, and it's a great way to support the community.
So I hear that there's a theme this year for Walk for Warmth. Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. What is it?
Oh, yeah. This is where I answer, right?
I did say yes or no. So
Okay,
you
yes.
answered yes. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
What's the theme?
The theme is carnival.
Carnival as opposed to carnival, correct?
Correct.
Not carnival.
We were considering both, but we went carnival.
Keep it close to home.
There's popcorn, cotton candy. It just kind of already fit the whole thing.
That explains all the festivities for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. That's fun.
I think
and
so.
Also, it's worth also mentioning there was this wonderful poster that we'll put up here. There it is, up on the screen. That poster was designed by an adult who works for the county, yeah?
No, high schooler. Addison from Zeeland High School designed that poster and won a really amazing gift, a gift basket full of gift cards from DoorDash and all sorts of goodies.
All right, we're not sponsored by DoorDash. However, that was kind of them. That was a contentious contest. I think that's the definition of the word contentious, is that it's a contest.
It was a...
I cast the winning vote.
Yeah, you did.
I cast the tie-breaking vote in that just because, I don't know why, because I was already in an active email chain with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
you're welcome. So, Jen, I understand that there's T-shirts for sale, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Tell me about them.
So the winning poster design that you'll see hopefully
Round of
around
applause,
time.
please.
Yes, Addison. She did a great job. That poster design will actually be on shirts for sale, T-shirts and sweatshirts, and you can easily buy those on our website.
Great.
There's a way to purchase a T-shirt, and part of the proceeds from the T-shirt come back to us, and the rest is just essentially making the shirt. So,
Right.
Yeah, quality. I will say they're quality T-shirts.
Great cause.
They're comfy. Great cause.
Are they available in multiple colors?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Multiple colors, multiple
Because
styles.
the poster is largely purple, if I'm not
It is.
mistaken. I love
Yeah.
the color purple. It just does not do well for my appearance. So having the choice of different colors,
Yep.
that's a huge value proposition.
Yep. Different colors.
So link to buy a shirt may just show up in the description or in the show notes. So, well, awesome. That's gonna do it for our main segment here. Jen, do you wanna sit here while I go through the last little outro?
Sure.
We don't know how this works.
Let's try it.
What's a
Let's try it.
podcast? All right. Great. Well, I promised that I would tell you guys how we can turn this podcast, instead of us talking at you, to more of a two-way street kind of thing. And I'm excited to say there are at least 3, if not more, ways for you to engage with us, for you to have your voice heard, not just by me, but potentially all of Ottawa County, assuming everyone's going to be listening, which I do. First one, in the show notes of this episode, if you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, there is a link to something called Fan Mail. That is just an easy way for you to write in a message. That can be a suggestion. That can be telling us why you love the show so much and you want to see more of it. It can be constructive criticism. If you tell me things that you don't like about it, or if you're mean, I will cry. So avoid doing that. You know, if you want to bring up a problem, you better have a solution as well. Constructive criticism is important here. So fan mail for written messages. We also have a service called SpeakPipe, where you can actually record a message via audio for us to hear. If it's something worth playing out loud, maybe we'll play it out loud. Maybe not. And there's always good old-fashioned social media messages. Feel free to message us on Facebook or on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Facebook or Instagram, number 1, how did you find this podcast or video? That's crazy. Number 2, give us a follow. Follow the podcast, like the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, whatever you got to do, whatever your platform you're on. I'd love to know what you guys want to know more about. Are you really interested in how property taxes are calculated? I'm not, but I could pretend to be. Are you interested in how our park system works? Everybody's interested in that, I feel like. So please give us that feedback. And keep in mind, anything you say via fan mail, social media messages, SpeakPipe, I'm going to hear them or read them. If they are abusive or rude in any way, I have the right to ignore that or make fun of you. I don't think you want that. I specifically wrote a note in here that says I'm not above bullying. So just keep that in mind. I've seen the comments on some of our Facebook posts, and I know you guys can bully. Please don't bully me.
Just be nice.
I'm very fragile. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like this, subscribe, follow, do whatever you got to do to get more Ottawa Out Loud. And remember, knowledge is power, and local government is better with you in it. No, I don't like that. Remember, knowledge is power, and local government works best when you are a part of it. Thanks for watching. Text me when you get home. All right, that's good.